What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Criterion Corner. This is the segment on my channel where I choose a film from the Criterion collection or that's streaming on the Criterion channel and talk about it in detail, give you some recommendations. And lately, I've been wanting to watch some films in the Criterion collection that have been on my list for a very long time to see, and for some reason, I've just never gotten around to watching them. And so today, I'm talking about a film that I have wanted to watch for an eternity, and I'm so glad that I finally got a chance to watch it. And the film I'm going to be discussing today is Paris, Texas. Paris, Texas is directed by Wim Wenders. A man wanders out of the desert not knowing who he is. His brother finds him and helps him to pull his memory back of the life that he led before he walked out on his family and disappeared 4 years earlier. So I really didn't know what to expect when I watched this film, other than I know that a lot of people have praised this as being one of the greatest films of all time. Obviously, Criterion looks very highly of it. I think on the Criterion channel, it's like under one of their like permanent favorites list. And I am a huge Harry Dean Stanton fan. I have been my whole life. I think he is one of the most incredible actors who ever lived. I was so upset when he passed a few years ago. He's just seemed to be a truly wonderful human and a very talented actor. And so that was enough for me to want to watch this, especially with Dean Stockwell being in this as well. Just an absolutely incredible cast from top to bottom. And this movie was phenomenal. It lived up to every expectation that I could possibly imagine. And it's just everything that I love about film in general. So as the plot description said, you have our lead character played by Harry Dean Stanton. His name is Travis. And at the beginning of the film, we see him wandering in the middle of the desert in Texas. He's trying to find water. He stumbles into this bar, gets himself some ice cubes, ends up passing out on the floor. This doctor ends up getting him, taking him in to examine him. Travis's character, he's not really talking, he's not interacting with anyone, and the doctor gets his wallet out from him, and there's nothing in the wallet except for a little piece of paper, and the piece of paper has a name and a phone number on it. Well, then you're introduced to Walt, played by Dean Stockwell, who is Travis's brother, and he calls him on the phone, and he immediately tells his wife, hey, they found Travis. We haven't seen him in almost 4 years. I'm going to go out to him. So he flies to Texas and goes to hunt down his brother. Well, when he finds him, he's not speaking. He's not talking to him. He barely opens his mouth, and he keeps trying to run away from him. And all he wants to do is take him home, because what you find out is that Walt and his wife have had custody of his son for 4 years, and that his son sees Walt as his father, doesn't know who Travis is anymore, doesn't really think about him anymore. And so the film is, you get Travis's character eventually goes back with his brother and wants to reacclimate himself with his son and possibly get his life back on track, while we're also finding out all of the things that have happened to kind of tear apart Travis and his wife's relationship, that had caused him to lose his son, that caused him to separate from his family. And the film is just really working out all of those interpersonal dynamics between these different characters. And that's what makes the movie so incredible. Each one of these characters is not without flaw. I think that they're, like Walt and his wife are both very good people, but at the end of the day, like, they want this young boy to stay being their child because he feels like a part of their family. And you have Travis, who's this estranged father, coming back into his child's life, who wants to be connected, but at the same time, with his shady past and the things that have happened to him, can he be trusted? Can these people think that he can be a father again? And you have his wife, who is out of the picture. They don't know where she is. He can't find her. And so the great part about this film is the way that it's written. All of these characters are so multi-dimensional in a way that I think you can connect yourself with, because human beings are all flawed. We all fuck up. We all make mistakes. We're all not perfect people. And I think the way Wim Wenders makes this film work so perfectly is that all of those flaws are exposed. Travis's character is not a good person. Most of the people in this film aren't good people, but there's elements about them that make them likable and that make you root for them to want to be better people. And I think in this, Travis is trying as best as he can, even though he knows that his life is never going to be normal because the mistakes that he made and the things that he did are unforgivable, that he wants to try to fix something or do at least one thing right. in his life. And I think there's a lot of people that have been in that situation. There's people that are terrible, that continue to be terrible and never make amends for that. But there are terrible people in this world that have tried to make up for the shitty things that they've done in their lives and have tried to be better people, because at the end of the day, if you're a shitty person, the best you can do is try to be better. And that's the thing I like about this movie, is exposing the human condition and all of its flaws in a way that is just so beautiful and relatable. Every performance in this film from top to bottom is so incredible. There's amazing monologue sequences throughout this film that just had my jaw on the floor, that are just so beautifully written and thought-provoking, and especially from the young son. I'm always kind of skeptical when it comes to child actors, not to say that they're not kids. They're in this industry that's very difficult to be a part of, but like the young boy in this is so charming, and he plays the role so perfectly, and there's so many lines of dialogue that he delivers that are so heartbreaking and beautiful and thoughtful, and I just love the way this film is written. Also, the cinematography in this is incredible from start to finish. I love the wide shots of the desert. I think the way that characters are framed in the shot, it creates, it really shows the relationship dynamics without speaking to dialogue, the way that people are framed in shots. It's so perfectly executed from start to finish, and it's a little bit over a 2-hour runtime, and I was hooked from the beginning until the very end of the film. I think this is a flawless work of American cinema. There's not a single qualm that I have with this movie, and it's one that I see myself revisiting over and over again for years to come. So have you seen Paris, Texas? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought. I think this movie is absolutely brilliant. Everything about it, from the writing, the performances, the cinematography, from the top down, everything about this movie is pitch perfect, and I would 100% recommend checking it out. As always, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, it helps me out a lot and lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I'm always putting out new material and look forward to getting more out for you in the near future. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.